This is News 8 Now, this morning.
What I did has deeply affected you, and I wish more than anything to take that pain away. As much as I wish I could, I can't take back what I've done, but I can do my best to try and make things right.
BNSF has agreed to pay for all damages that they cause to the roadways. They have agreed to replace anything. They have agreed to cover salaries of all first responders that came.
It's a fun part of my job because it's something that we get to go and have direct kind of boots on the ground, working with them, really trying to find things to help boost their performance.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye opener. I'm Sophia Pullman.
I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Tuesday, May 2nd. Did they say it? No, it's the 2nd today.
Yeah, it's just, it's the 2nd.
I got it right.
Yeah.
We flew by the 1st. We flew through April. The weather, though.
Yeah, it's been windy, you know.
It's been windy, a little chilly.
It's been a little chilly, a little bit windy, so a combination of the two. Also, it was a little cloudy yesterday. Today, I'm kind of expecting more of a mix of clouds and sun. Not as cloudy today, still a little bit windy, especially during the afternoon hours here. But at least our temperatures today, I think, are going to be a little bit warmer. So get to all that in a second. I do want to show you what's happening now, though, first. And you can see over the last couple of hours, we have noticed those clouds here decreasing. Temperatures are into the 40s, 41 in Eau Claire, 45 in La Crosse, 45 down south in Bosquebel. Your planner is going to call for mostly clear skies to continue through at least 9 o'clock, and then we start to see some clouds increase late morning, especially as we head into this afternoon. Skies could briefly turn mostly cloudy. Temperatures into the mid to upper 50s, which is still unseasonably cool, however, for this time of year. Your allergy forecast today is medium for ash, and the birch and tree pollen are high. For tomorrow, everything is on the high side, and that's all thanks to those temperatures that are expected to warm up. So therefore, you can expect the tree pollen levels to remain high for at least another week or two. Now, coming up, I'll have a check on your schoolcast plus your full weather forecast later on in the show. Sophia?
Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this morning. We now know the name of one of the suspects arrested in connection to the gun store burglary in Rockland. Mackie Drake is in custody at La Crosse County Jail. Authorities in Arkansas arrest another suspect over the weekend, Nehemiah Sample. They're still looking for Robert Benson Jr. A former Wisconsin student will serve 17 years in prison for stabbing a police officer with a barbecue fork. Grant Furman is found guilty of attempted first-degree intentional homicide after stabbing an officer several times in 2019 at Oshkosh High School. The stabbed officer shot the then 16-year-old, but neither was seriously hurt. Furman apologized to the officer in court.
What I did has deeply affected you, and I wish more than anything to take that pain away. As much as I wish I could, I can't take back what I've done, but I can do my best to try and make things right.
The judge also sentenced him to 10 years of extended supervision. Cleanup is still underway after a Burlington Northern Santa Fe train derailment near Highway 35 in DeSoto. Crawford County Emergency Management says the highway is expected to open tomorrow. Crews have been working hard to clear 10 train cars since last week's derailment. Some paint, diesel, and batteries spilled into the Mississippi River. Those have now all been contained and removed. The BNSF says it will conduct inspections for the next 7 days and that cleanup resources won't cost local taxpayers.
BNSF has agreed to pay for all damages that they cause to the roadways. They have agreed to replace anything. They have agreed to cover salaries of all first responders that came.
There were several concerns why trains were operating during a flood. Hackett says trains are held to federal regulations and local leaders can't decide when a train can pass through. The cause of the derailment is under federal investigation, and the Federal Railroad Association says it could take 30 days or more to find the answers. The La Crosse County landfill is processing 2.5 million pounds of debris from the derailment. Officials say county staff and hauling companies helped BNSF sort through the non-hazardous waste from the crashed containers. La Crosse firefighters are testing their endurance in emergency situations. Firefighters participated in a training simulation that pushed them to their physical limits. Mayo Clinic Health System sports medicine teams were on hand supervising data collection. Firefighters wore heart rate monitors to keep track of how hard they pushed themselves during simulations of real situations they'd respond to.
On a normal fire scene, you're working, but you don't know how hard you can work and how long you can work unless you've tried it before. And this is kind of what this course does.
The department has required the training for 7 years. The La Crosse Fire Department and Mayo Clinic Health System have teamed up for these simulations for the last 3 years. One athletic trainer said this is something he especially looks forward to.
It's a fun part of my job because it's something that we get to go and have direct kind of boots on the ground, working with them, really trying to find things to help boost their performance.
Markert says they'll compare today's results to last year's tests and then assign firefighters to certain tasks based on their physical abilities. Second graders are getting a lesson on the city's history. The La Crosse County Historical Society is hosting special field trips for students during the first 2 weeks of May. Students will visit the La Crosse Area Heritage Center, where they will learn more about the people in La Crosse County. They will also visit the historic Hickson House, where they will see a home built back in the 1850s. One organizer said visiting Hickson House will help students understand the early beginnings of the city.
They were philanthropists, supporters of a number of charities around town, instrumental in the development of the city from the 1870s onwards.
Students will round out their trip at Poage Park, where they will have lunch and learn about George Poage. The end of pandemic-era free school meals left many families in a tough spot. But under a proposal in Governor Evers' budget, every kid would get school meals for free, for good. Braden Ross explains.
Hungry kids just can't learn at the same level that a student who's not struggling with that can.
During the pandemic, every kid, no matter their financial status, got breakfast and lunch at school for free.
It means those families didn't have to worry not only about the financial stressors, but also just, let's be honest, it's hard getting out the door.
But those benefits ended this school year, leaving many families struggling to keep their kids full.
We had hoped that since the pandemic started to kind of slow down a little bit, we had hoped that the need might slow down, but we really haven't seen that all that much.
Food banks like Second Harvest say more people are asking for help since the end of pandemic-era programs.
We're hearing that from our agencies too, our partners. You know, some had 30, 40, 50. We even had one group, it was in a rural area, 190% increase in the number of people that they were supporting.
In the past year, 9 states have passed temporary or permanent universal free school meal programs. Now, a proposal in Governor Evers' budget hopes to add Wisconsin to that list.
We know where the kids are. The kids are in school. So if we could provide the meals in school, which we already do, but provide them for entirely no cost, this is how we can really make a change. And I just think it's sort of a no-brainer, but also what a great opportunity to make a difference in these kids' lives.
But as Republicans get close to unveiling their own plan, the future of free school meals is uncertain.
I have a lot of hope that our legislature will take up a budget that really puts kids first.
The legislature is expected to officially start work on the budget next Tuesday. Republican leaders have not said if they will include universal free school meals as part of their plan. Still ahead in your morning news, some of your favorite kids' snacks are getting a facelift. And a rise in severe weather is causing the price of produce to rise, but could come with some benefits. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Today is the perfect day to give your favorite teacher an apple. The National Parent-Teacher Association established the entire first full week of May as National Teacher Appreciation Week, giving you several days to say thank you. So if you forget your teacher's gift today, then don't worry. From here at News 8 Now, we say thank you to all of our teachers for their dedication to educating us all. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, earlier overnight, we were off to a pretty cloudy start here to the night, but over the last couple of hours, we have noticed that the clouds here have decreased here a little bit. Current temperature readings are in the 40s, 41 in Eau Claire, 45, good morning to you in La Crosse, 44 in Sparta. Temperatures in Prairie du Chien at 43 degrees. So we will see those clear skies here for the morning for the dog walking, so looking good there. A few clouds are possible this afternoon, followed by mostly cloudy skies as we head into those later evening hours. So for your zone forecast today, a little bit warmer than yesterday as high temperatures will make their way up into the mid-50s. It'll be about 57 today in Mindoro. Meanwhile, further south across our southern communities, we're looking at highs reaching 57 today in Soldiers Grove, 54 though in Westby. We're going to be into the mid-50s across our central locations with 58 today in Winona, and in the Chippewa Valley, highs mainly in the mid-50s here with 57 in Eau Claire. So for your schoolcast on the way to the bus stop this morning, 43 degrees, a few clouds and a little cool out there for the afternoon on the way home. The winds will begin to pick up here a little bit, making things gusty at times. Temperatures at 55 degrees, also under cloudy skies. Coming up in a bit, we'll have a check on my full weather forecast in just a few minutes.
In your consumer news this morning, airline pilots could be heading back on strike right before the busy travel season. The labor union representing American airline pilots has authorized a strike. The Allied Pilots Association says they could begin at major airports nationwide. American Airlines says that a strike will only happen if a new contract can't be reached. Meanwhile, pilots from Southwest and United are also demanding new contracts with their airlines. Last month, Delta airline pilots were awarded a new contract after a vote to strike last year. Changes the Federal Housing Finance Agency made to mortgage fees will take effect this month. With the changes, borrowers with lower credit scores will see less of a penalty. If your credit score is higher, you will see more price tiers and, in some cases, increased fees. Some buyers with lower credit scores will still pay more to obtain a Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac-backed mortgage than those with higher credit scores. It's a new look for some popular fruit snacks. General Mills has updated the packaging on some of its iconic brands, such as Fruit Roll-Ups, Fruit by the Foot, and Gushers. The company says the new designs feature bold and energetic colors, and they celebrate a new generation of teenagers and young adults. Fruit Roll-Ups first debuted in 1979. The company unveiled Fruit by the Foot in 1991, and in the following year, Gushers splashed into the scene. Drought, hurricanes, and heavy rain have hurt farms around the world, and now consumers are paying for it at the grocery store. Christian Benvenides has the story.
So see how easy that came off? And see how that sort of got a little decay in it there?
Earlier this year, we talked to John Barbin, a fourth-generation farmer in Florida, where storms and crop disease have led to a shortage of oranges.
The trees have started dropping fruit prematurely, and the quality of the juice is starting to decline.
That is pushing prices for orange juice higher. In India, rain hurt sugarcane crops, sending sugar futures soaring. Floods earlier this year in California's Salad Bowl devastated all kinds of crops, from lettuce to strawberries, and now produce costs more.
Is this sort of the new normal with these climate events that are happening worldwide?
Sadly, yes. So I think this is the unfortunate, harsh reality of today's world.
Professor Patrick Penfield is a supply chain expert at Syracuse University. He says crop issues in the Midwest led to higher feed costs for ranchers, and many are now raising fewer cattle.
Now you're going to start seeing, meat supply come down.
However, extreme weather may have provided one benefit. All that rain in California that damaged crops also helped fill the state's reservoirs, running low after years of drought.
And now the farmers in the next planting season will be able to tap that water.
And that should help bring produce prices back down later this year.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek in today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sophia. Off to a nice clear start this morning, as you can see behind me there from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Beautiful start to the day, 45 degrees and clear. Visibility also nice at 10 miles, northwest winds at 20 miles an hour. Meanwhile, for you in Eau Claire, also looking clear here. Temperatures at 41 degrees. Winds are sustained at 15 out of the north-northwest, gusting, however, to 25 miles an hour. So here's the current setup. We are under the influence of this low pressure system still positioned to our northeast, just northeast of the Great Lakes area. We have a high pressure system back to our west, and we're kind of stuck in between these two systems, which is creating a bit of a pressure gradient force for us to work with. And that is why we are looking at some pretty gusty conditions today. In fact, those wind gusts are expected to increase again as we head into those starting later this morning. And you can see those gusts increasing up to 30 miles an hour here at times as we head into this afternoon. Heading into this evening, I do expect the gust here to begin to gradually decrease, and especially as we head into tonight, you won't even really feel the wind gust all that much as they continue to wind down. Your planner for today, besides the gust, partly cloudy, 51 degrees at noon, cloudy skies, 57 degrees by 4, and then by this evening, mostly sunny, temperatures at 51. So we will see kind of like off and on clouds and sun here throughout the day. Current temperatures are in the 40s, highs today warming up into the mid to upper 50s during the afternoon. And a few clouds here on the sky tracker, as you can see. By 11 o'clock, we may see a few more clouds develop, especially towards the east, followed by more widespread cloud cover by 6 p.m. this evening. Now here's 11 o'clock, and we'll get a break in the clouds. In fact, we'll be looking at mostly clear skies for much of the night before we start to see some increasing clouds slightly by early tomorrow morning, just before sunrise. And then more clouds are expected to develop across much of the area heading into the afternoon hours tomorrow and also into tomorrow evening, with temperatures warming up into the low 60s during the day. And then by tomorrow night, we will be looking at mainly cloudy skies once again moving through. Now, we will see a little bit more sun, though, over the coming days, but we have to get through some shower and thunderstorm chances, however, as we head into Thursday and on Friday as well, with those temperatures into the 60s and low 70s. There's a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and also into early next week on Monday. At the same time, those highs will warm up into those low to mid 70s during those last few days on the 8-day forecast. Low temperatures also warming up into the 50s by Friday. Stay tuned. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look what happened on this day in history for May 2nd. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. We'll start the show at Blair Taylor High. Wildcats hosting GET in both softball and baseball. As for the softball squads, both the Redhawks and Wildcats won their respective conferences last season. Cats are led by a large group of seniors this year. Redhawks a bit on the younger side. Our own Kate Overton was there, said it was cold and windy, but that wasn't going to stop Lindsay Steen from stepping into the pitcher's circle. Here she is, first batter of the day, starts off strong. Breaking ball gets the swing and a miss for out number 1. Then in the bottom half of the first, Steen going to start things off with a little base knock over the head of the shortstop for a leadoff single. A few batters later, Lexi Lofgren is going to send one right back to the pitcher. The throw to first is in time, but Steen, showing up the speed, comes in to score, puts the Wildcats on top. Next inning, one on for Abby Thompson. She's going to find the gap in right center. Thompson's got some wheels on her. She's in with an RBI double. Wildcats win it big, 10-1. Over on the baseball diamond, a bit of a different story. GET already in front and threatening with the bases loaded. Thomas Haney at the plate. It's going to watch ball 4. That's going to bring in Colin Hankey for another run. Next batter, Christopher Wagner sends one to deep right field. That's going to be caught, but plenty deep enough to bring home another. Makes it 5-0 Redhawks. Next inning, GET's hot bats would continue to deliver. This time, Brendan Brady with a base knock and a left. He's in with a 2-run RBI single. A few batters later, Nicholas Crum gets a hold of one. That's going to one-hop the wall. Another run scores. GET wins it big, 12-1. Let's go to Logan High. Rangers at home playing host to conference rival Toma. Bottom 1, Logan threatening, but Toma's Tom Hesse Going to make a nice play here at short, and he's going to get the force out at third. Then later in the inning, bases loaded, but this time it's Drew Brookman snagging the liner, gets the force at home. Timberwolves can't get the double play, and that's going to cost them because this ball right here is going to get away from the catcher. Gabe Catchy going to race in from third to make it 1-0 Logan. Let's go to the top of the second. Cody Quist at the dish. He's going to lace a base hit into left field. Timberwolves trying to get some runs on the board. Quist gets it started, and guess what? Jacob Spires keeps it going. The junior lifts this one high and deep the other way. He finds the gap in right center. That's going to be trouble. Quist trying to score all the way from first. He's going to slide in, save. Timberwolves tie the game at 1, but it's the Rangers coming out on top at home, 12-6. And finally, this is awesome. Onalaska native and former Hilltopper Jalen Sample is NFL bound. Sample signing with the Washington Commanders over the weekend as an undrafted free agent. During his senior season in the purple and white, Sample set Onalaska school records in receiving yards at just over 1,400, as well as touchdown catches with 22. His stellar play continued at Mankato State, and in 2021, Sample became the 7th receiver in school history to eclipse 1,000 yards. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
In Norway, a memorial statue has been unveiled for a walrus that captured the hearts of locals and fans around the world. Freya was a charming annoyance in Oslo. She would climb onto docks and cause boats to sag under her weight to sunbathe. This memorial comes after Freya was controversially euthanized Last August, Norwegian officials said despite warnings, people were getting too close to the 1-ton walrus, so she was put down. More than 11,000 members of the Writers Guild of America are set to go on strike this morning. This could bring an immediate halt to the production of many television shows and possibly delay the start of new seasons of others later this year. The studios, which said the talks ended late without an agreement, responded by saying it was willing to improve on its offer but was not willing to meet some of the union's demands. The distance between the two sides suggests this could be the start of a long strike. The search for a missing Winona woman continues. A big search was held over the weekend for 26-year-old Madeline Kinsbury. The clinical researcher for the Mayo Clinic has been unaccounted for since March 31st. In the latest effort, about 100 volunteers searched a former Girl Scout camp in Yucatan. Kinsbury's family is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to her whereabouts. The survivor of a 2001 stabbing speaks out as she learns that her brother's murderer may be out on parole soon. Kyle Macon explains.
Carol destroyed my life.
This is Sarah Arreguin, who in 2001 was in her home when her sister's ex-boyfriend, Terrence Taylor, broke in and attacked them. Her brother was killed when he tried to defend them, but was stabbed 20 times. The ex then turned his rage on the two sisters, stabbing the pair dozens of times. At one point, she was told the man who did it would be behind bars for the rest of his life. But now, she says she had less than a month to prepare to be back in court.
How do you prepare? How do you prepare for something like this? To know that you've got to relive all of this again.
Sarah is a member of Voices of Murder Victims, an organization that was formed in opposition to the former prosecutor Carol Seaman. The group was there today to support the victims in court. It says the people killed didn't have another chance, so why should the murderers?
I believe there are many opportunities for second chances for prisoners, doing lesser offenses. But when it comes to murder, killing, I think the line needs to be drawn.
The judge called this case one of the worst he's seen, but because of the previous prosecutor's actions, he reduced the sentence to 35 to 60 years. Sarah says the fact that her brother's killer will now be eligible for parole makes her fear for her life.
To know that he has another chance to kill me again really sucks. I mean, I have a family. I have children and grandchildren I want to raise, that I want to be there for.
A Minneapolis community joins forces in solidarity with Muslims after numerous mosque fires are reported. Well after authorities have found the suspect, who was caught on surveillance video Dozens gathered at the Mercy Center Mosque in South Minneapolis just days after police say 36-year-old Jackie Little was caught on surveillance video entering the building and starting a fire on the 3rd floor. That attack now leading many to find purpose and healing among each other.
We've seen throughout history that things that have presented themselves as a crisis, as a hardship. We've seen how it has worked to bring people together.
Little is also accused of sending harassing emails to a sitting U.S. representative and vandalizing the representative's Minneapolis office. Madison police are sharing more about the arrest of a Wisconsin Badgers football player. Police confirmed a gun was found in Marcus Allen's bag while he was being arrested at the Mifflin Street block party over the weekend. Authorities say the gun they found was reported stolen. Allen was charged by police for carrying a concealed weapon, and the Dane County Sheriff's Office says he's facing a potential charge of being armed while intoxicated. Today, the legislature's budget writing committee will start writing their own version of the state budget. As Will Keenely explains, the Joint Finance Committee is tossing out most of the governor's own proposal and essentially starting from scratch.
Affordable, high-speed internet by the end of 2025. We have to do this, folks, and together we will.
But it appears together we won't, as Republicans released a memo outlining more than 500 items from the Evers budget proposal that won't make it into the state budget.
I'm asking the legislature to join me in supporting a $750 million investment into broadband expansion grants.
Those grants won't make it in, along with a major policy push from the governor this year.
Our kids can only achieve their full and best potential when they can bring their full and best selves to the classroom.
The governor declared 2023 the Year of Mental Health in Wisconsin.
Let's make sure every kid in Wisconsin has access to school-based mental health services through our Get Kids Ahead initiative. It's a year of mental health, folks. I know we can get this done.
That won't make it into the budget either, according to Republicans. They will start tomorrow inserting things back into the budget, tackling things like the state's elections commission, but doing so without an Office of Election Transparency that the governor wanted to include.
Points that state Republicans and Democrats seem to agree on include sending some of the state's sales tax revenue to fund local governments and providing tax cuts. More budget details are expected later this week. The lawsuit challenging Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban will make oral arguments in Dane County Court this week. The Sheboygan County District Attorney listed as one of 3 defendants motioning for the case to be thrown out. The lawsuit argues a 1985 state law that allows abortions up to fetal viability conflicts with the 1849 ban. The case is all but guaranteed to reach the state Supreme Court regardless of lower court rulings. A Wisconsin bill would force social media companies to verify the age of users and get parental permission for kids to open accounts. It would also put time limits on accounts, stopping kids under 18 from using social media between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. But parents would be able to opt out. Platforms that don't follow the law would have to pay $100 a day for each account in violation. A similar bill passed in Utah in March. A new proposal in Madison would allow kids as young as 14 to serve alcohol. While some want the change, others say it's not needed. CBS 58's Michelle Fiore tells us more.
Staffing shortages have existed for years in Wisconsin.
I think every bar could use a whole nother demographic of workers.
A rush of fans on Water Street when the Bucks won the NBA title saw bar owners trying to keep up, even serving as bartenders and cooks themselves.
With every restaurant I'm sure you've heard from, staffing is an issue right now.
Now, Republican lawmakers have a bill they hope will help. The proposal allows 14 to 17-year-olds to serve alcohol to customers who are seated but not at the bar.
I don't see a problem having it, but with everything, there's going to be a couple mishaps of it. But they could help out for the lunch rush, the dinner rush, for us, the brewers rush. It would definitely help us out. But again, as long as it's done responsibly.
The bill's co-sponsor says it would allow us to just open more of a staffing pool, especially in rural parts of the state.
Letting 14-year-olds serve booze is not going to cure our workforce issues.
Democratic opponents are stacking up.
If we actually care about making it easier for employers to hire people, we need to address the childcare shortage. We need to address transportation and paid family leave, things that employers have been asking for, especially throughout the state budget process.
If this passes, Wisconsin would set a record.
Most states say that you have to be 18 to serve alcohol, which makes sense. There are a couple states that allow 17-year-olds to do it. No state, not even Texas, allows 14 and 15-year-olds to bring adults booze.
The bill has a long way to go. Now here's Derek to tell us what our driving conditions for today are currently looking like. Derek?
All right, thanks for that, Sophia. Last night we started off a little bit on the cloudy side, but over the last couple of hours we have noticed that the clouds are decreasing in coverage, but we are expecting some more clouds to kind of develop off and on throughout the day, giving way to our forecast being partly cloudy overall. 58 degrees the temperature, very windy still. North-northwest winds 20 to 30 miles an hour during the afternoon especially. Now those winds will settle down as we head into this evening. Still partly cloudy, unseasonably cool with temperatures dropping to 37. North winds much lighter at around 10 to 15 or 10 to 20. So for your morning commute, mostly sunny skies. We will see partly cloudy skies though as we head into the afternoon, and then we may see the clouds increase again slightly by this evening, making it mostly cloudy. So overall for your mowing forecast today, probably the best time to do some mowing, I would say probably around the 5 p.m. hour, as it will be mostly cloudy by that point, but temperatures will be at least into those upper 50s and at times even nearing those low 60s. So we'll feel a little bit more comfortable out there for you later in the day. Stay tuned for my final check on the full weather forecast after the break. Also coming up in our Buzz Report, a pop-up store in Minnesota is trying to sell 3 houses worth of books. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Beautiful start to the day from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Got almost a perfect sky there in the background. 45 degrees being the temperature, visibility coming in clear at 10 miles. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, also looking clear and sunny here. Temperatures at 41, north-northwest winds at 15, gusting up to 25 miles an hour here at times as well. So the reason why it's been so gusty here lately, especially yesterday and again today, is because we're watching this trough of low pressure positioned to our northeast. We're also watching this high pressure system back to our west. So we're kind of stuck in between those two systems, giving way to a pretty strong pressure gradient, which in turn is picking up our wind speeds quite a bit. In fact, here's a look at the wind gust tracker today, and we're going to start to pick up those wind gusts again as we head into those later morning hours. We could see gusts up to 30 miles an hour at times starting later this morning and then continue as we head into the afternoon hours today. But by this evening, I do expect the wind gusts to begin to drop here a little bit and especially subside as we head into tonight. You won't even really feel the wind gust a whole lot by that point either. So for your day planner, we're going to start off clear, 44 degrees, and then by noon, 51, partly cloudy skies. They are cloudy skies, temperatures at 57 degrees by 4 o'clock, and then by early this evening, temperatures dropping just a bit to about 51 degrees under mostly clear skies there just around the sunset hour. Current temperature readings are into the 40s now. However, we will be warming up this time into the mid to upper 50s, so that's a little bit warmer here than what we had just yesterday. I'm expecting a high of 57 today in Eau Claire and 58 today in La Crosse. So again, starting off rather clear here this morning. We may see a few clouds develop as we head into the later morning hours around 11. And then here comes around 6 p.m. this evening. Notice how the clouds begin to increase across much of the Coulee region before clearing out as we head into tonight. 11 o'clock, we could be looking at some clear skies by that point tonight, followed by just mostly clear skies by early tomorrow morning with a few clouds increasing there slightly from the north, and then more widespread clouds could move in across the area as we head into early tomorrow afternoon, followed by mostly cloudy skies again moving in from the north as we head into tomorrow evening. And we will see this trend continue as we head into tomorrow night as well. So for your 8-day forecast tomorrow, I'm expecting temperatures to continue to climb into the low 60s, and it will be mostly cloudy here tomorrow for the most part as well, followed by a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms for Thursday and Friday with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Mostly cloudy for the day on Saturday with temperatures just shy of 70 in the afternoon, but we will be well into the 70s come Sunday and also through early next week on Monday and Tuesday. However, we're going to be watching for a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms as our temperatures also will warm up during that time as well.
In our Morning Buzz report, a unique pop-up bookstore just had its opening weekend in St. Paul, Minnesota, in an attempt to sell a personal collection of some 300,000 books. All of those books belong to Jeanette Kaman, an avid reader who started collecting them in an apartment a lifetime ago. Her library grew so large she had to buy a house for her books, then another house, and then a third. By that time, Jeanette moved into a retirement home later in life. Those homes had become massive bookcases. She left the books behind.
She didn't feel the pressure to have children. She didn't feel the pressure to get married. She just wanted to live her dream of having all of these books and being surrounded by books, which is so amazing. And just having the guts to, buy 3 homes on her own it's fantastic.
The pop-up bookstore has been 97 years in the making and is opened weekends through the end of May in St. Paul.
Is this really happening again?
Well, who are we without a homicide?
We appear to have a release date for season 3 of Only Murderers in the Building, according to Variety co-creator and star Steve Martin, revealed at a weekend comedy show. The Emmy-winning Hulu series will return August 8th. Canadian singer-songwriter Gordon Lightfoot has died at the age of 84. The Canadian artist passed away from natural causes at a Toronto hospital Monday. Lightfoot first hit the U.S. pop charts in 1970 with the song If You Could Read My Mind. That track also earned him the second of his 4 Grammy nominations for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance. Lightfoot's memorable songs were covered by artists as diverse as Bob Dylan and Elvis Presley.
He's trying to say there's something going on. That's not true, right?
All I can say is,
peace out!
Aerosmith is ready to walk this way right off the stage and into retirement. After 50 years, the band has announced the Peace Out Farewell Tour. It will feature special guests, the Black Crowes. Aerosmith says drummer Joey Kramer will not be joining them so he can focus on his family and health. The North American tour will kick off in Philadelphia on September 2nd. It will include a special New Year's Eve show in their hometown of Boston. Tickets go on sale Friday morning. Are you a big reader? That lady had 3 houses full of books.
That was just insane to me to see have that many books,
I'm an avid reader.
Yeah.
3 houses, that kind of seems like an addiction at some point.
Oh yeah, that's like the definition of a bookworm, right?
Right. Thanks, Derek.
All right.
Before we head to break, it is time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
So we want to wish Griffin George a happy 8th birthday today. Now, Griffin George loves spending time with his brothers and friends and, of course, loves playing soccer.
Happy birthday, Griffin George. He is our only birthday today. If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Time for your Morning News Now. A series of severe weather has put stress on farmers. In California, floods earlier in the year ruined all kinds of crops, leading to a rise in production costs. But one professor in New York says all the rain may not be a bad thing. All the extra rain has helped fill state reservoirs.
And now the farmers in the next planting season will be able to tap that water.
That should help bring down produce prices later this year. A Wisconsin bill would force social media companies to verify the age of users and get parental permission for kids to open accounts. It would also put time limits on accounts, stopping kids under 18 from using social media between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m., but parents would be able to opt out. Platforms that don't follow the law would have to pay $100 a day for each account in violation. A similar bill passed in Utah in March. 2 Wisconsin Republicans are looking into a bill that would let 14-year-olds serve alcohol to seated customers in bars and restaurants. Current state law says only workers 18 and older can do that. Lawmakers say the bill is an effort to address the state's worker shortage problem. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism says if it passes, Wisconsin would have the lowest age for workers to serve alcohol. Cleanup is still underway after a Burlington Northern Santa Fe train derailment near Highway 35 in DeSoto. Crawford County Emergency Management says the highway is expected to open tomorrow. Crews have been working hard to clear 10 train cars since last week's incident. Some paint, diesel, and batteries spilled into the Mississippi River. Those have now all been contained and removed. BNSF says it will conduct inspections for the next 7 days and that cleanup resources won't cost local taxpayers.
BNSF has agreed to pay for all damages that they cause to the roadways. They have agreed to replace anything. They have agreed to cover salaries of all first responders that came.
There were several concerns why trains were operating during a flood. Hackett says trains are held to federal regulations and local leaders can't decide when a train can pass through. The cause of the derailment is under federal investigation, and the Federal Railroad Association says it would take 30 days or more to find the answer. La Crosse firefighters are testing their endurance in emergency situations. Firefighters participated in a training simulation that pushed them to their physical limits. Mayo Clinic Health System sports medicine teams were on hand supervising data collection. Firefighters wore heart rate monitors to keep track of how hard they pushed themselves during simulations of real situations they'd respond to.
On a normal fire scene, you're working, but you don't know how hard you can work and how long you can work unless you've tried it before. And this is kind of what this course does.
The department has required the training for 7 years. The La Crosse Fire Department and Mayo Clinic Health System have teamed up for these simulations for the last 3.
As you head out the door this morning, temperatures are in the 40s under mostly clear skies. Those clouds will begin to increase, though, late morning and also into the afternoon. Temperatures still unseasonably cool for this time of the year, into the mid-50s today. A check on your 8-day forecast showing us tomorrow will be a little warmer with a high of 62, mostly cloudy skies, chance of showers and storms for Thursday and Friday. More shower and thunderstorm chances in the forecast Sunday through Tuesday of next week. I'm happy to say that at least as we head into next week, temperatures are going to be warming up into the 70s.
I mean, hey, Saturday looks nice. 69, no rain. It'll be a good weekend.
Exactly.
Thanks, Derek. And thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com. We'll have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you for watching News 8.